Welcome to Mosport in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. We're here for the second leg of the Toronto doubleheader with the Mosport 200 presented by Quinlan's. Let's just drop right into it. Taking the pole position in this second leg of the doubleheader is Lucy Barton, an important pole position for a driver that has been faltering over the last few weeks. Luke Pellerin doubles down on a very good result in the Greater Toronto Area Speedway to start in second. Boyd Abbott, a big surprise there inside the top 5, together with Toronto race winner, the newest winner in the North American Auto Club's ranks, Kendra Brittany, starting in 4th place after the pole position in Toronto. Mac Henley, the 2014 Series champion, begins his race in the 5th spot. Ruby Carson trying to recover some of the goodwill after that suspended ban and 50-point penalty, starts in 6th, while Thomas Tucker and Charlie Faulkner break up the rear end of the top 8. Failing to qualify today were Lily Briscoe, a bad effort from the Canadian. Kristen Young once again fails to qualify, this time in her native Canada. Lynn Hodges, Kendra Hendrick, Patricia Stage, Ashley Elliott, and Charlotte Elliott. So only Canadians failed to qualify this time around. This race, just like the one in Toronto, scheduled for 200 laps, but the track here is shorter, so it's 100 miles. We expect around 150, 155 laps in a fuel run, so you could pit as early as lap 50 and be good for the finish. Of course, the Mosport Speedway has around 8 degrees of banking on the turns, but the way they are shaped means everybody actually runs very close to the inside. This is almost a one-lane track, and you have to be very smart on managing not only lap cars, but the cars that you are battling with. Taking a look at the weather, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, winds to the north, very breezy, clear skies, fantastic weather. Let's go trackside. Leading the field to the green is the elder Barton, trying to rally back to shape. After Daytona, the oval race more specifically, she started having a lot of hard times. And she's trying to find her way again, and starting well here in Mosport might be the key to get it done. As she leads the way, but Luke Pellerin on the outside has a very good run. Boyd Abbott watching very closely on the outside. Kendra Brittany already gives enough space on the outside on the back straightaway, but as we're rounding out turn number 2, they're still side by side. Barton isn't even gonna lead the first lap because Pellerin had the nose ahead, and he's gonna keep the lead by the time they get to turn number 3. As you watch Kendra Brittany and Ruby Carson fighting there for the 4th position. Thomas Tucker running already in 6th place. Tammy Barton, the younger Barton, trying to recover some of the average finish she lost after finding herself upside down a couple of days ago in Mosport, is finding herself in the fight, while Ronnie Samples battling with Chris Endicott right there in the middle of the field. Caitlin Richler started in the 22nd position, trying to gain a few positions to finish pretty well 3rd place at Toronto. So 22nd place is a very poor qualifying effort. Likewise for Ashley Richardson right there, qualified further back as well. And Ronnie Samples, of course, as we already showed. Look, Pellerin, by the time we get to lap number 7, has already opened a fairly large gap. When you see lap 10, there you see Pellerin, Barton, then you have Abbott, Brittany, Carson, Tucker, Haley, Faulkner, Pellerin, and Faulkner closing the top 10. And you see how the field has already settled down pretty much. By the time we get to lap 15, Saul Pritchett already up to be lapped by the 88, and that allows the 98 to at least catch. But there's just not going to be enough there because Luke already finds himself on the inside, and he's going to figure out his way around the number 8 very, very quickly. While Barton's going to lose a little bit of time managing him through, that's going to be enough for the 88 to open a larger gap again. It's not a gap that, well, let's say he would win by lapping the whole field like he did in Beltsville, but it's already a pretty sizable gap as he puts the 63 of Chris Endicott in between him and Barton, who is lapping the 200 of Allison's men who qualified for this leg of the doubleheader. As we get to lap number 21, Ruby Carson battling there for fourth place with Kendra Brittany still, who has caught the 99 of Boyd Abbott, and Carson has been caught by the number 9 of Thomas Tucker, while Charlie Faulkner has caught the 18 of Mac Haley in the battle for 7th place. Becky Pellerin running in 9th place, which is a good points day after her 2nd place in Toronto. The leader in wins this season with 5 wins, probably wanted that 6th win badly. Was unable to get it. As you see, Vicky Murata about to be lapped by the number 88, costs him a little time, but the older Pellerin still has Ronnie Samples, and there you see Creeper Stevenson being lapped by Lucy Barton for that to make a difference, as Kendra Brittany catching the number 98, and you see there how Luke Pellerin continues to lead very, very calmly, just putting the lap cars in between him and the other drivers. You see how Boyd Abbott has fallen a couple of positions behind, as you see Ruby Carson in 4th place now. Kendra Brittany took 3rd from Abbott. Abbott's there behind even his teammate Thomas Tucker. Thomas Tucker in 5th place, having a very good run as well. And now we get the finally look at Abbott. By the time we get to lap 42, so this race has gone by quick and pretty much eventless, even in terms of managing the lapped cars. Vernon Hargrove running in 20th place, having a solid start after failing to qualify for Toronto, with Warren Majeski right ahead of him and Peter Johnson right behind him. Ashley Richardson running inside the top 25 as well after ending on her lid at Toronto, so she's wanting to recover. As you see how Pellerin continues to have a hard time lapping Hibiki Murata. He laps other cars, but he took his time to lap the 52, while the 7's right there, and even taking his sweet time, simply Barton was unable to catch because the other lap cars were all over her. So by the time we get to lap number 50, he has lapped the 15 of Breck Finley, the 06 of Athena Whitley, the 03 of Joey Anderson, the 16 of Ethan Collins, and has the 96 of Brendan Massner right ahead of him. And you see how the 98's now stuck between all of those cars that I mentioned, plus Hibiki Murata, plus Ronnie Samples. So it's a gap that Luke Pellerin is making it even bigger, and the narrow racing line makes it even more difficult to lap cars. And this means that, at least for the 98, things are starting to look less peachy than ideal, because Kendra Brittany is chasing down. As you see there, problems for the 420 of Creeper Stevenson. He is slowing down on track. He's gonna go to the pits, and that is gonna be the end of his day, as at a quarter of the race completed. By the time we get to lap 53, Tammy Barton, you see they're running in 12th place, chasing down the 89 of Ryan Faulkner, with the 43 of Lee Schmidt right behind her. The 25 of Kate Taylor having a very good run as well. Becky Pellerin has held station in 9th place. Jamal Schmidt finds himself in 10th, trying to catch her. Pellerin came around at Toronto after that race. She was not very happy with Jamal Schmidt. She refused to talk with him after the race, just blew by him like a woman possessed, and it was a really bad day for her. Ruby Carson running in 4th place, concedes the outside to Thomas Tucker. Problems for the 77 on lap 63. The left front tire is down from 4th place on Ruby Carson's car as she dives to the inside. There goes Boyd Abbott for the 5th position. And Charlie Faulkner, she's gonna have to finish a whole lap on that busted tire before she can get to the pits, and that's gonna cost her a couple of laps, as Emily Pauvin about to be lapped by Luke Pellerin. You see how Luke Pellerin opened a large and long gap to the 98, 26, and 9, and then the 99 that closes the top 5 with Faulkner and Pellerin and Becky Pellerin in 6th and 7th, as you ride with the old Chew being hounded by the 88. But there's so many lap cars between Pellerin and Barton that Luke's just taking his time, as Kendra Brittany to the inside of the 98 as we reach lap number 75. This race has blown by quickly. We're under half an hour contested, and Kendra Brittany is just gonna take 2nd place with little difficulty at all, and she's gonna try to put Ronnie Samples in between her and the number 9 of Thomas Tucker. Is it gonna be enough? Doesn't look like it will. They're still side by side. The 9's gonna keep the pressure in that hole, as you see Ruby Carson 2 laps down, finding herself around the 97 and the 81. She's on pace. She's with newer tires, So if she wants to try regaining positions and climbing herself through the pack, pulling herself by the bootstraps, she could try, but it's gonna take a while until that takes into effect. Becky Pellerin now battling with Jamal Schmidt and Ryan Faulkner. Charlie Faulkner passed her for the 7th spot, so now Becky Pellerin running in 8th place, trying to hang on against Jamal Schmidt, and she's not giving him any space. She's possessed, and she's not very happy with him, and I cannot blame her. Kendra Brittany now about to lap her teammate Ethan Collins, and Collins is just gonna stay on the outside. What Collins didn't do at Toronto, because he could not concede the position, this time around he just gives the whole line to the 26, and the 26 does everything she can to keep the 9 at bay, and it's working. Now she has her other teammate Athena Whitley in the 06, did not have a good start at all as well. The lap, and now the 26 is all over the 06, and once again, New England Automotive Technologies just doing what you expect from a very good teammate in a position where they can do that. They aren't gonna be in a battle for position, so it's worth it to leave her, to let your teammate go by easily, especially when she's running in second and trying to catch the leader. You see there in the front end camera of Athena Whitley how she has the 1 of Aurora Majeski and the 96 of Brenda Masner right ahead of her, while Luke Pellerin, by the time we get to lap number 87, has a large lead. Not a lot of difficulty at all. He's dominating this race. He's grabbing it by the horns. It's been a dog walk. As you see there, how I mentioned Ruby Carson with newer tires working her way forward. She dives on the inside 3 wide with Becky Pellerin running Samples. Samples and Pellerin make contact. They keep together. Big crash. Big contact. Head on into the wall. Becky Pellerin is going to drive away, but a big contact. Let's see what happened there on the onboard of running Samples. Ruby Carson dove in there, they made contact, and then Pellerin and Samples kept the foot in it, and Samples and Pellerin just went head on into the wall. You ride with the 77, she dove in. That was a very daring do. That was a very daring dive, but I don't see how we could even blame her for this crash, because the 27 and the 7 kept their foot in it. You see there on the overhead camera how the 77 dives in, they make contact. That is undeniable, but by the time the 77 takes the foot off and moves away, the 27 and the 7 just kept the foot in it, and it's a big hit in the 27. The 27 is gonna keep going despite the amount of damage, and as you see there how your leader Luke Pellerin comes into the pits. He comes in first place, and the gap in the amount of lap cars is so large that when the 9 and the 26 come about to do their service, the 26 of course coming in second, Thomas Tucker coming in, there you see Boyd Abbott, Charlie Faulkner, Lucy Barton, the 85 of Ryan Faulkner, 18 of Mac Hanley, then you see Jamal Schmidt, Corbin Dempsey, and Lee Schmidt, and you see there coming out of the pits, Luke Pellerin is gonna retain the leading position, but then you see how Thomas Tucker is gonna take second place. A fantastic stop by the number 9 crew, a terrible stop by the 26 crew, as Boyd Abbott and Charlie Faulkner pass Kendra Brittany. Then Ryan Faulkner comes out in the 6th position, and what you're gonna see is a couple of gambles, because Caitlin Richler did not take tires, Tammy Barton took tires, and another massive gamble as Ashley Richardson gains 9 positions by not taking tires, and she's now inside the top 10. The way this race has gone and the way the weather has been and how the heat has transferred to the asphalt means a few drivers are in a position to try some funny business, especially given how distant Luke Pellerin has built his lead during those green flag laps. And we get the green flag once again on lap number 108 after a little bit of cleanup on the outside wall. A lot of fluid ended up there. And you see, focus the camera on Ashley Richardson with the 98 of Lucy Barton, the 2 of Caitlin Richard right behind them. Barton changed tires and lost 4 spots. And Tammy Barton running up there in 7th place, a very good stop. She did change tires, but only the right side tires. And that places her up top in the 7th spot, chasing down Ryan Faulkner, who is chasing down Kendra Brittany. You see, I mentioned Becky Pellerin still driving, but she's driving the modified, and she's 3 laps down. She's nowhere near where she needs to be to gain points in this championship. By the time we get to lap number 113, Pellerin already catches the 420 of Creeper Stevenson with the 9 of Thomas Tucker right behind him. Boyd Abbott, Charlie Faulkner, Kendra Brittany chasing him down. You see there how a little bit bent that bumper is. It's because Thomas Tucker took his time, gave him a few bumps, made him feel the warning, but so far, Luke Pellerin has been stalwart. Kate Taylor is running in 20th place after a not so good run at Toronto, but he's bringing the car home, and that's important for the Owners' Championship because that team is around the bubble. Mac Henley dives on the inside of the 58, and the 58 does not contest that battle. Ashley Richardson's being very calculating about who she battles and who she doesn't battle. You see how she stays on the outside, but she keeps pace, because if she keeps pace, she blocks the 43 from making a move. As you watch Becky Pellerin about to be lapped by her brother on lap 100 and I believe 118 in this 200 lap race, so we are very close to the finish of this, and there goes Luke Pellerin on the inside. Thomas Tucker is giving chase, trying to keep him at bay. Is it enough? Not at all. Thomas Tucker is gonna lose a little bit of time lapping the 27. Overall, despite that big caution, race has been fairly calm. Boyd Abbott, running in 3rd place, laps the 27, trying to catch his teammate. They seemed to have squashed their beef after their big contact in Beltsville, but I can feel that there was still some hard feelings, especially from Abbott, because Abbott was having an okay run, and that touch completely upended his day. While Luke Pellerin continues to lead as we enter lap 125 of 276 laps remain, and Thomas Tucker has the bumper on the 88. They're very close to each other. Tammy Barton, Lucy Barton, and Mac Henley about to lap the 27, and they're running 7th through 9th, and 10th place right now is Caitlin Richler in the number 2, having a very solid run. The driver of the Red Bull car, Ashley Richardson, hanging back in 11th place with Lee Schmidt right behind her. And there goes Caitlin Richler to lap the 27, trying to form a big conga line. Brett Philly currently running in 17th place, so he's not backing up that very good result in the Greater Toronto Area Speedway, but he's bringing points, and right now that's all that matters for the 15 crew. Ryan Faulkner continues to run in 6th place, and he finally sets up the move on the 26 of Kendra Brittany to take the 5th position, and Kendra Brittany is gonna have to settle for that spot further behind as Luke Pellerin continues to manage through the lapped cars. He has the 16 and the 03 to lap. You ride on the rear end of the 03 of Joey Anderson. He blocks the 16 of Ethan Collins. That allows the 88 to at least lap the 16 Kepale car. And now he has the 03 to lap, and Joey Anderson does not seem very cooperative. Here comes Tucker trying to set up something on the inside, but it's not enough, and problems for Caitlin Richler. The suspension in the number 2 fails, and Caitlin Richler is out of this race from 11th place. Quite a shameful result with only 60 laps to go, and that is our second caution of the race. Allison Smith decides to go into the pits, change the right side tires, and put some fuel in. Doesn't seem like that's a big strategy call. Actually seems just like a comfort call. David Tyner Racing isn't gonna gain much positions after this. They ain't gonna lose many either. So they're just making, let's say they're just making the rounds, making sure that car is in tip-top condition for this final run. As Luke Pellerin, you see, leads the field to the green. We're approaching 50 laps to the finish. That was around the time that was taken to take the Q back to the pits, as Mac Henley, Maga McDonald, Riley McKee, and Vernon Hargrove all jump the restart, have to take a stop and go, you see in the graphics. And when Mac Henley comes out of the pits in front of the field, tags the 99 of Boyd Abbott. And Boyd Abbott, he already was with those problems at Beltsville, and this time it's even better. The pit crew in the 99 went to take satisfaction with the AT. Almost that a brawl started during the race, but then the brawl started after the race finished. But we almost had a brawl that necessitated a red flag. Thankfully, it did not come to that. But we're gonna have to check later how everyone is, because it was quite a sizable fight. As you follow the number 9 chasing down the 88 for the lead of the race. This caution helps the 90 immensely, while Lucy Barton blows up from 11th place coming to the restart, essentially cancels that green flag. Something that I didn't mention also about Ruby Carson is that when the camera focused on her during that caution, it's because she blew up on that first caution. So that's another driver that blows up under yellow coming to a restart. And when we finally do get the restart, under 40 laps to go, Luke Pellerin continues to lead Thomas Tucker, Charlie Faulkner in 3rd place, Ryan Faulkner 4th place, 5th place, Kendra Brittany, and Lee Schmidt jumps the restart as well. The 5th driver to jump the restart does his stop and go. He's gonna be back on track. As we reach 35 laps to go, Luke Pellerin continues to open a bit of a gap over Thomas Tucker. It's not a big enough gap to be completely safe, but at least he leads the most laps he can for now. But by the time we reach lap number 170, we open lap 170, Luke Pellerin stuck behind the 420, dive by the number 9. He saw the space open and he makes the move for the lead on the inside of turn number 1 to turn number 2, using the 420 as a pick. And Thomas Tucker is gonna be your new race leader here in Mosport, rounding out turn number 4. 30 laps remain. Charlie Faulkner all over the rear end of the number 88, battle for 2nd place now. Luke Pellerin seems to have lost some morale, seems to have lost his heart. Tammy Barton battling with the 5th place. Kendra Brittany, this is gonna do wonders for her Rookie of the Year hopes, while Kendra Brittany is also gonna gain quite a bit of average points in this doubleheader. So Tammy Barton keeping her in the visual at bay is immense. As Athena Wickley about to be lapped by Luke Pellerin tags the 200 of Allison Smith, and Luke Pellerin tags the 06 from 2nd place. And that is the 5th caution of the race here in Mosport. Let's watch how Luke Pellerin got himself into this. Athena Whitley dove into the 200. When she was gonna come down, the 88 was right there, and he kept his foot in it. It was either gonna be a caution involving a car, or he was gonna be involved in it. That brings the caution. That's a little bit controversial. Some people turn their nose to it because that restart puts Pellerin very close to Thomas Tucker when the green flag comes out with 15 laps to go. But Tucker retains the 1st position coming out of turn number 2. Charlie Faulkner, Ryan Faulkner still 3rd and 4th. Kendra Brittany still running very, very solidly in 5th, as Thomas Tucker continues to lead the way. As you follow Boynavon up in smoke from 6th place. That tag by Mac Haley did not end his race. This did. And he was still running solidly in the top 10 with only 10 laps to go. This is gonna end up warranting a 5-lap shootout. As you see, Thomas Tucker is slowing down for the pace car. Luke Pellerin right there and Charlie Faulkner right there, as we prepare for a 5-lap showdown to define who can win. A 6-lap showdown to define who wins this green flag on lap 195 of 206 laps remaining. Thomas Tucker has a perfect start. He is off and running as Pellerin continues to feel pressured by Charlie Faulkner. Ryan Faulkner right there, hoping to capitalize if the 88 and the 85 get together. 26, Kendra Brittany solid there. Corbin Dempsey running in 6th place. Ashley Richardson running in 7th, battling with Kate Taylor right there. I think at least it's Kate Taylor. It's a red and white car. But as you see there, 5 laps to go, coming to 4 laps to go. Thomas Tucker has a large gap, and this is massive. This is massive because Thomas Tucker last season led one of the most impressive rallies of recent years. He began that period, the final 10 races of that season, with no wins. And then he won 3 of the last 10, one of the best drivers' averages at the end of that season. And we told you that the time for rallying would be now. 3 laps to go. Thomas Tucker hanging on, Luke Pellerin catching. And if there's a man that knows how to build a rally, that's Thomas Tucker. He failed in winning the title last year, but it was just because Becky Pellerin was that good. Blake Chandler was also that good. So Thomas Tucker was unable to make anything happen. However, this time we're much earlier in the championship. We're before the last 13 races. There's still time to mount a charge. And if Thomas Tucker, as he sees the white flag in the air, is in a position to mount such a charge, rounding out turn number 1, coming to turn number 2, he has clear track in front of him. He has a lot of space between him and Luke Pellerin. The number 9 hasn't won in the first 23 races of that season, but rounding out turn number 4, coming to the checkered flag, the 9 rides high again. Thomas Tucker wins. An impressive late race charge results in Thomas Tucker winning his first race of 2018, 3/10 over Luke Pellerin. Tucker led the last 31 laps and he gets 5 bonus points. Luke Pellerin led 169 laps and gets both the 5 bonus points for leading a lap and the most laps led bonus. And that does mean, if you know the math, that only 2 drivers led laps throughout this whole race. So a very dominant performance by both of them, but for the second time in this doubleheader, a bitter late race defeat for a Pellerin sibling. Third and fourth place are Charlie and Ryan Faulkner, finding themselves gaining a lot of points on Becky Pellerin after her terrible race where she was embroiled in that big incident with Ronnie Samples. Kendra Brittany finishes off in 5th place. Ashley Richardson, with that crazy strategy of not changing tires that put her up front, resulted in her finishing in 6th place. So a fantastic run. And she has been silent most of the weekend. She continued silent after that. Very interesting. Kate Taylor finishes in 7th place. Tammy Barton gets a very good result for her rookie challenge hopes, while Jamal Schmidt and Scott Overton, an impressive 10th place by Scott Overton. What you missed there is that Peter Johnson and Chris Endicott closed their days in 11th and 12th, while Vernon Hargrove finished in 13th, and Craig McLean, after that big crash in Toronto, still finishes in 15th place. Now taking a look at the championship, Charlie Faulkner continues to lead, and this time he keeps his lead large, 68 points over Ryan Faulkner, who takes the 2nd position. Luke Pellerin vaults from 5th to 3rd, and he's now 93 points behind, 10 points over his sister, who dropped all the way back to 4th, 103 points behind. She started this race only around 29 points behind. Thomas Tucker and Corbin Dempsey battling very closely. Only 4 points separate them in the battle for 5th place, while Lucy Barton continues to bleed points left and right. This time around, she's 380 points behind. That is a lot. That is a very notable amount because she started this weekend 318 points behind. However, she's not the biggest loser. Riley McKee lost 40 points and finds himself 420 points behind. Mac Henley lost over 60 points and finds himself 492 points behind. And Lee Schmidt ends this weekend 513 points back to the championship leader. He started it 447 behind. So Charlie Faulkner and Ryan Faulkner dominating this small interlude of the season. And if they keep this shape, things are going to start getting very hard for the drivers that are not in the top 5 if they want to fight for this championship. Taking a look at the Heat Rookie Challenge, Tammy Barton gets to improve on her average And she left Toronto with an 18.5 after going upside down. She leaves Mosport with 18.1. Kendra Brittany, with her 5th place finish, gets closer and closer, and the 5-alarm fire that we alluded to multiple times is now real. Kendra Brittany improved from a 20.7 to a 20.0. Joey Anderson from a 21.0 to a 20.9. And this is starting to get very close for comfort for Tammy Barton. We got 3 rookie winners this season: Allison Smith, Joey Anderson, and now Kendra Brittany. Tammy Barton's not among them. She's gonna need to win at one point or another if she wants to be safer. If things continue the way they are, with 13 races to go, they aren't safe at all. Taking a look at the Summer Series, and Charlie Faulkner increases his lead on Riley McKee by some 11 points, but loses 2 points to Thomas Tucker because Tucker finished 2 positions ahead of him. Not a lot of change. Becky Pellerin actually loses quite a ways. She loses around 26 points to find herself 89 points behind. Ryan Faulkner gained... Actually, he didn't gain points. He gained up 3 positions. He went from 7th to 4th, but he actually lost a point. He started the weekend 73 down. He ends the weekend 74 down. He started the race 73 down. He ends this race 74 down. So the Summer Series truly is between only 3 dogs right now: Charlie Faulkner, Riley McKee, and Thomas Tucker. They are the only drivers within 40 points of each other. In the Owners' Championship, Ronnie Samples lost a lot of points by failing to finish. That puts him now in 21st place, as Kendra Brittany finds herself inside the top 20 now. Kendra Brittany now is ahead of Ronnie Samples in 20th place. Expansion Motorsports and Peter Johnson improved some 20 points on what they had and now can breathe a little bit easier. While Triumph Motorsports and Zach Tech are in this battle point for point in 23rd and 24th place. When we ended Toronto, Brett Philly in the 15 was 1 point ahead of Joey Anderson in the 03. They changed places. They simply traded places, and now Joey Anderson's up 1 point on the bubble. Brett Philly is the bubble. Luke Star Motorsports improved some 35 points from 37 points actually, from 68 to 31, and now they really are in range of getting a provisional spot, while CJK Racing continues to fall down after Kristen Young failed to qualify today. Craig McLean actually gained a position now, and he finds himself delivering the 30 car. Well, not delivering because he's gonna still drive this car on the next race, but he finds himself now in 27th place, which is a good position to start mounting a comeback for that team. Their objective right now, at least from what we understand, is to get both cars in the top 24. Torxon Racing and Warren Majeski traded positions with Craig McLean. They're only 1 point behind McLean, by the way. While Vernon Hargrove, by virtual qualifying, gained a few points and retains the 29th position with some safety, while Jamal Schmidt passes Ethan Collins and the 16 crew to get the last spot on the top 30. The next race in the North American Auto Club Challenge Series presented by GripAll is going to be the 3rd leg of the Legacy Cup. We're staying in Canada for a couple of weeks more for the Clarenton 247, 247 miles at the historic, winding, and very interesting Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. This race is sure to be a great one, and I will see you there.